Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is April 21st, 2025, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights today, gold does it again, trading to new all-time record highs, but first, no major economic events scheduled for today. So looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, the US dollar continues to weaken versus all the major pairs. Now looking at the indices, Dow Jones and the NASDAQ slide lower. And looking at commodities, gold, new record highs, and oil drifts lower as well. And as we look at the stocks, they're mostly lower and drifting lower almost across the board. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin holding on and actually gaining. So let's take a look at markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go, first with the EURUSD. We're going to do all of them, but you can see quite clearly the dollar is just tanking versus the euro gaining to 115. Now we haven't been here since 2022. That's over 3 years ago that we've been around the 115-ish level. Now look at this massive incline, and it's just such a really short period of time. So right now in the interim, the dollar is getting weaker, but as things progress, let's see if we're going to finally get a correction. Now GBPUSD is in a multi-time frame resistance. This is where the euro outdid the GBP versus the dollar. And this is super important because on 134.44-ish level, that's where we have resistance. So we're just shy of that, about 100 pips. So just be aware of that with the GBP. Now jump into the Japanese yen. Look at that at 140. This thing was 160 at one point, and also on support-ish levels. So this is super important because multiple levels, if this breaks, this will be something super important because we may see ourselves in the 120-ish range once again. And this takes us back to the year 2013, okay, of when we were trading closer to these levels, maybe even 100 yen to a dollar, okay. If you look at a monthly chart, you could see that of when we were last there, okay, 2019, we were around the 105-ish level, but really 2013, we were much stronger, and that may still happen if the dollar continues to weaken versus the major pairs. Now, jumping into gold, look at that massive move to the upside, and it gives it to you. It retraces and gives it to you. Now, this is the end of what I call the ABC move. We had one move up, we had a second move that gave us less, and now this is the third move up. So we look like we're at the top of it right now. But the question is how much is it going to retrace, and is it going to give us another push higher? Now, looking at crude oil, drifting a little bit lower to $63 a barrel. Natural gas also did settle closer to the $3 mark, okay, as that has really retraced from that 420-ish level. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, they did trade lower to 38,791 on the Dow Jones. We are trading lower here. If we look at a daily, we're right back down, okay? We couldn't make that 50% bounce, okay, after this massive sell-off, and we're heading back to our lows, and that may mean that we're making new lows. Looking at the NASDAQ also, if you look at a daily, it's the same story. It's very similar to each other. Now, looking at the individual stocks, all right, so I'm going to go with the big ones first. Microsoft continues to show weakness, okay, which was really an important one. Facebook also showing some weakness at $500 a share. Apple also showing some weakness. So the majors really showing some weakness. Tesla coming out with its quarterly earning reports this week at $240, showing some weakness, not major weakness. But JP Morgan came out with their quarterly earning reports last week, and the stock is just a little bit down. Okay, it's not down too much, but it is still down. Now, lastly, looking at NVIDIA, did trade lower than $100. That's super important as that continues to retrace as well. So markets are posed lower this morning, and we may see continued sell-off on the downside. Now, looking at Bitcoin the other way, okay, Bitcoin's holding itself at 87K, and it is hitting resistance lever at this area, so just be aware of it. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a happy holiday and a great trading day. Thank you.